Uh, oh, yeah, we're live. All right. This will be the most controversial video of all time. We're not going to get too in depth into the causes of it. This is more of a look into what is life going to look like after affirmative action.
Yep.
Because affirmative action is dying. I'll go over a real brief thing. The colleges now, it's been found to be racist and prejudiced, or whatever you want to call it, against groups of people. The money is running out, and after Black Lives Matter, you got to understand that, you guys pushed it too far with that. The vandalism, the destroying of cities, and you're being replaced with people from across the border right now, which, by the way, the government is funding. All right. So there's a finite amount of numbers or money, and numbers of people that the federal government can support. I will go into this just a little bit here. Racism is always going to be here. There's going to be racist people here and there and all of this. There's absolutely no such thing as white privilege. When you say white privilege, you're saying, in my mind, I think white people are better than me, and that's not true. All right. I told my wife when we first got married, racism exists because certain groups of people move into a neighborhood and they just live with each other. Well, it's real easy to hate people that you don't live next to us. So in the country, we're all mixed together. Racism doesn't really exist here. It's just a big city problem. All right. So anyway, that's just a basic where we're at. Now, as a country, I believe that, it's time for this to end. It's childish. You can't keep living in the past. Most people, like, take that lady from The View. Okay, turns out she was a Spanish slaveholder. Not one drop of African American blood in her, right?
Not a single one.
Not a single drop. Anyway, as a godly standpoint, we're tearing the country up. Okay. People in the Midwest, because of affirmative action, or just country boys, because of affirmative action, they're not joining the military anymore. Why should they? They won't get promoted. Lesser qualified people will be promoted over them to fill a quota. And the officer corps, the same thing. They're just not, junior officers are not resigning, because why would they? There's absolutely no chance for them to get promoted.
Exactly.
And as a godly standpoint, the church is broken. It's totally just gone. It's broken. There'll be certain groups of people. I believe that the Black community will adjust rather quickly. There will be some holdouts and get very, I think the biggest hit, though, for affirmative action is going to be the Karen community. They're the ones out there pushing the idea, and they're your true racists. All right, the Democratic Party and these Karens, that's your true racists. They believe that Black people aren't smart enough to get into school without help. They're not smart enough to get a voter ID card, that you have to coddle them all through life with special benefits. And it's destroyed the Black community. It really, really has. It's eliminated the fathers out of the household, which is always a bad idea. But we're becoming too ungodly in my mind.
And I mean, I'm not opposed to not necessarily incentive, but for financial aid to be available to anybody that qualifies
Correct.
to go to any school and to go to a trade of any kind. You know what I mean? Or a medical school. If you got the grades.
Yes.
If you have the mental acumen to go to school and be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, a practical, useful degree, I think that there should be financial aid for you, regardless of the color of your skin. I think one of the reasons that they were saying is because the opportunities for the African American people were less because they were poorer.
That's not true.
That is not how that system is working out, though. What they're doing is what they did. I don't know if it was a quota. There has to be this many African American
Right.
people, this many women,
It's called
and this
affirmative action.
affirmative
Yeah.
action. So that means that some of the brightest, smartest people out there didn't get in because they were not the right color.
Correct.
Whatever you want to call that, that's racism. Okay. Yeah. When you look at the color of someone's skin, regardless of the color, and assume something about them or deny them opportunities because of this color of their skin, that is racism.
That's racism.
I don't care if the color of the skin is white, brown, black, yellow, blue,
now,
whatever.
We're not doing any community any good. All right.
No.
It's what has happened now is instead of teaching, you're getting all these social programs into the schools. Yeah, testing people on math, history, spelling. All of a sudden, that became racism, and it's keeping them back. So now we're graduating people from high school and giving them a free ticket to college that can't pass a basic reading comprehension test, nor do they have a working knowledge of mathematics. So when they get to college, they're taking made up majors, gender studies, what is that? Theater and communications. They're taking useless majors. Then they get out of college. They've never had a job in their life. And you've got people that left high school and went straight to work and have 4 years of work experience. And they're the ones getting the job and not the college graduates. You're selling them a dream that's not true anymore.
There was this one YouTube short or what's it, a tweet or whatever in TikTok. This young girl is sitting in her car and she's like, we were lied to. We were lied to. She was told that if she went to college, she'd be able to afford the house, the dream, the food, the fun, the entertainment. She says, I work so hard all week. The weekends are for catching up with my laundry and everything else. She says, and by the time I spent, one of them said, she says, I spent the entire weekend in bed because I had no money for nothing. And here's the thing. They were, if you, okay, college itself is not the solution for all the problems.
Correct.
You have to pick the right career in college. Okay?
Your right major.
Your right major. You can't go for gender studies and think that you're going to have a $4 million house and all this other stuff at the end of 1 year of working. If you pick a career that pays nothing, that really doesn't exist, you're not going to be able to make money. And then it's a cycle that they're trying to get you into because the federal government does not forgive student loans.
That's right.
And now they got you.
They
got a slave for life. I'm sorry.
Here's a little known fact. I guess I'll digress a little bit. I've had some pretty good jobs in my life. And when you go in to interview for these jobs, do you know the first thing they do? They give you a test. All right. And this is the real world. They're going to want to take the guy that's best qualified for this. Yeah. Now, holding children back, all right, and telling them, here's what's going to happen after affirmative action, in my opinion. The Democratic Party will suffer tremendously because they've been pushing a narrative that's just, it's not true, and it's designed to keep my fellow brothers down, all right, because they want to control your vote. It's just like, I did a little short video on this earlier, and it's like journalism is a lost art. Tucker Carlson went over and interviewed Vladimir Putin. Now, whatever you think about that, the Democrats have interviewed Vladimir Putin too. Barbara Walters, George Stephanopoulos, Ted Koppel, they've all interviewed him, right? They use the media as a weapon. Not a word of it is true anymore, okay? they've lost all sense of journalism. Now what it is they're pushing a certain agenda. True journalism, when you don't know where this interview is going to go. That's the beauty of true journalism. You ask a question and you allow that person to answer the question, no matter how long it takes them. That's journalism, okay? Not interrupting them, not making bold statements, not coming up with hypotheticals. No, you ask questions and you do that. So what's going to happen, I believe, after this is the black and white communities are finally going to move together, all right, which is way long overdue. I remember when I was like in grade school in the 60s, okay, I had some really good friends that were black, and we would play at each other's houses. And you know what they had that we didn't have? Nothing. They had automobiles, they had cars, they had fathers, they had mothers, all right? Moms were usually stay-at-home moms. They cleaned and cooked just like my mother did. But when this affirmative action thing really hit, what it did was it knocked the father out of the house because women got greedy, which is only natural, I reckon. But I would like to see the cities eventually, I think they're too far gone, but I would like the cities to be more like the country in a lot of ways. But the first thing that has to happen when affirmative action is finally gone, and it's well on its way, is we have to educate. We have to teach people to think for themselves. You've got to stop looking for someone to tell you what to think or someone to tell you what to be offended by.
And I think whenever one thing that if we have a Christian channel where we talk about the Bible and Scripture and all of that. One of the biggest things that I get pushback from is people saying, "No, we don't have. Who are we to think that we can have our own theology on the Bible?" So that meaning that they want to hear what the pastor says.
Tell me what to think.
That's right. Yeah. And that what is happening is that's right. People are saying, "I want my pastor to tell me what to think." Well, that is not the plan that God has for His scriptures. Okay, so journalism nowadays is telling you what to think. Okay, what Tucker Carlson did with Vladimir Putin is something that we don't do with each other ever anymore.
Right.
We don't listen to each other's opinions with an open mind, going like, "Well."
He asked questions, and he listened to the answer,
and then we formulate questions from the answer that you were given. Not have your own personal agenda that you want to push through when you're having an interview. And that's what all the interviews that go for of any kind really anymore have. There is no the myth of impartiality.
Right.
Everybody has an agenda these days.
Yeah, pretty much. Except me. Take it or leave it. I'm just giving you my observations on the world. But you have to truly understand if you're put in a little special group, okay, and you're given food and you're giving a place to stay and you're given a little bit of spending money and you think that someone is keeping you down. No, they're giving you every privilege that can be given to someone, and they're taking money from other people. Right. But the problem with that is it's a dead end. You're never going to advance in society if you are comfortable living in Compton, all right, and getting welfare checks and getting this and getting that, or if you're comfortable living in those communities in Houston and you're letting your children run free and gangbang and there's no discipline in the home, this is what it is. It can never be more. That's why I'm looking forward to affirmative action. I'm looking for my brothers to stand on their own 2 feet and march forward. Like Dr. King said, I want to move forward as brothers. And right now, you got the Democratic Party handing you just, oh my gosh, it's insulting when they stand there and say, oh no, we can't have voter IDs because black people wouldn't know where to go to get a voter ID card. No, what they're doing is they're cheating in the election and they're using you to do it. Mm-hmm. And you don't care because they're giving you free money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
but you're limited. You'll never get more than they want to give you, which ain't much.
It takes a real effort, I think, to look beyond your comfort zone and say, okay, when I leave here, what am I leaving behind for my kids?
Right.
A legacy of
Nothing.
living off the system, a legacy of pulling yourself up and moving forward and stuff like that. Is you got to think ahead, and that is
you have to think for the next generation, like my wife said.
And that is one of the things, biblically speaking, that we keep saying. There is this very bad, dark teaching that says that the worse things get, the sooner Jesus comes back, and therefore let's just not worry about it.
No.
And that is not exactly
You're living in God's kingdom now, and it's your responsibility to take care of it.
And make it better for the next generation.
I mean, that whole white privilege thing. Oh my gosh. Someone said there was 3.5 million kids of color, black kids, living below the poverty line. It's 3,700,000, something like that, right? Triple that. And that's the amount of white people or white kids. If you want to make this a race thing, that's the amount of everybody else that is living below the poverty line. Now, everybody loves to say, well, you can't take my life experiences away from you. No, I'm not. The only problem is they've taught you haven't fully grown up. And because you're voting for the Democrats, they restrict you from growing up, okay? No. No one is picking on you. We all get picked on. I am terrified when a cop pulls me over. Why? Because they have the power. But the difference between me and you is I understand, keep your damn mouth shut, give them what they want, and it'll be over with quickly. All right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I look forward to the day, and it's coming real quick. You can see how it's progressing, okay? And it's progressing this way for a very good reason. The Democrats, all right, and a lot of Republicans, let's not just, no, this invasion, no, we've advertised, all right? We're in business with the cartel to bring people here. Why? For some reason, they believe that these people are going to work, and we need a workforce. But guess what? You can tell by where they're going, all they want is the freebies. Now, whose freebies are they going to take? Well, common sense.
Whoever's getting freebie now,
right.
You ain't gonna be getting no freebies
no
more.
There's only a finite number.
Just wake up, guys. We really, if we work together to better this country.
If we work together,
we'll move forward.
We can move forward.
This country can move forward.
And we can make the government do what we want to do.
We've spent the checks that our previous generations spent, saved up to create this country.
Patriotism it's needed.
It's time for us to put forward our own savings, and our own, our own work to better this country, because it's not working out, guys. There's a lot.
Right.
And, can you guys please stop lying to kids, okay?
Yeah.
That they think, okay. When we were kids, never did I expect to have a house the second I went out to work.
Never did I expect it.
Okay, stop lying to them.
The mere
that's not how things happen. That's not the order of things. You work in a job, in a career, until you save some money, get married, do things,
Owning a house when I was a child. Look, we was poor. Most winters, we all slept in the living room with a curtain up on the thing and a space heater because we were poor. Potato soup was a normal in my life, and it would last for weeks. All right? Beans and rice, whatever it was. We were poor.
Yeah.
My 17th birthday, I was on an airplane heading to boot camp. Okay? I never thought that I would be able to own a house, let alone own a little bit of land to pass on to the next generation.
This is not ours.
This is not mine.
We're
It's
stewards
moving
of it
on
for the next people.
It's your mindset.
Yeah, but no, look, we all start at the bottom of the rung.
Boy, do we.
And it is the decisions that we make along the line in our lives that they either get you there or not. Now, I tell you what, though, here's where I've been watching this. This is a sideshow, but I'll make it semi-quick. We've been watching this thing semi-quick.
Okay, I'll see. Okay.
We've been watching. I've been watching this thing on my YouTube feed about cessationists in the church, meaning that they don't think that the gifts of the Spirit are any longer alive, and why God doesn't make miracles, and so they use
God does make miracles,
right? And they use all the crazy people out there to say, "See, this is crazy." Yeah, I agree with them. That's kind of crazy. So I'm gonna say yes. Things that happen in the Bible no longer really happen, but that doesn't mean God is not working every single day for his children. Yes. Watch. You can make all the right decisions in your life, okay? And somehow still screw it up.
Boy, can you.
Okay? But, I mean, our life is a testament of God working even with dumb people.
Yeah.
Okay? We are here because we made some really good decisions, because our parents make really good decisions.
And we actually paid our own school loans off.
Right. But we're also here because God worked his miracle in our lives. Okay? So what I'm saying is, you need to make all the right decisions. Don't forget to acknowledge God in all your ways. And what will happen is, you will see, even now, wherever you are in life, you need to really stop and look back in your life and think about, you didn't do all the good things that are in your life by yourself now. So it's a growing thing.
Right. God does create miracles all the time, and you can see it. The gift of life is a miracle.
Yeah.
God gives a woman the gift of a child. And something sick has happened where you have politicians telling you it's okay to murder, and it is murder. God gives you a gift and you're willing to murder it. All right. There's so many things you could do not to get pregnant, but no, you're choosing to ignore all that, to ignore personal responsibility for your own health. You can catch all these diseases, right? But personal responsibility is not only for your health, but for the next generation. I have had the privilege of having 4 wonderful children. It has been hard. It has been times where I didn't get home from work till well after dark, and there really wasn't enough food for me to eat. And my first response was always, what was it?
Did the kids eat?
Yes. All right. But we have raised a generation of selfish people. Don't worry, you'll get over it. Okay?
Yeah.
But I have high hopes for life after affirmative action. Think about it. No more excuses. No more racism. I mean, that's the difference in the mentality. A certain portion of the population, they have an excuse for everything bad that happens to them. And then another portion of the population, they just dust themselves off and they go to work the next day.
Yeah.
Because there's no use complaining about it.
Look, staying out of trouble is a lot easier than you think.
Yeah.
I think. Okay? Don't go out at night at 3 a.m. There is no reason other than work that a good young man or woman needs to be running around at 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't drink and drive. Don't do drugs. Don't hang out with the wrong people.
And pull your pants up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And it's just, it's everybody, really, no. Don't do all these basic things. Don't sleep around. Okay, don't be having sex before you get married. Why you won't get pregnant?
Personal accountability and responsibility. Yeah. All right. If you didn't want to pay a school loan back, you never should have taken it. How dare you? Because now what's happening is you're going to be paying other people's school loans off your entire life.
That's right.
Right.
There's no such thing as a free lunch. Guys.
No such thing.
Someone's
You're just not smart enough to realize it.
Someone's
but once this stage and once we unite, I mean, we are divided in so many little special interest groups. All right. But once we unite, we can literally make the government do what we want them to do with our vote. All right. First thing is you can't vote for anybody that doesn't support term limits. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And that'll give us a leg up. But anyway, if you're somebody that's stuck in that mentality, and you'd be surprised the people that are stuck there. But when you're stuck there, what you're saying is these people are better than me, and I am no better than you. I guarantee it.
Listen, right? Young people, when we were young, we stayed with our parents until we either got married or we got well enough ahead that you could buy a house. If you're seeking to move out of your parents' house for your own reasons, right? What is it that you want to do away from your parents that you can do in the house with your parents? If it is something that you want to do at a certain level of freedom that you think you need in order to live by yourself.
Was that you?
Yeah, that was me. Then you're moving out for the wrong reasons.
I thought someone was knocking on the door.
It's just me. But look, stay home, friends.
Yeah.
If you are wealthy enough or you make enough, if you're one of the lucky ones that makes good enough money that you could live on your own, save that money, buy a house. Don't give rent is one of the most expensive things out there, and it gets you nothing at the end of it. You have nothing at the end of it, and it's so expensive. Stay home, guys. That everything that the current society is telling you to do,
it's nasty.
Stop and think about it and do the opposite.
Anyway,
it's gonna work out better.
I have high hopes. Yeah. I mean, I'm no better than any man out there, and I would not tell you that I am. I just want part of our population to realize they're just as good as I am. You can work for it. It's hard work, but it's satisfying.
Yeah. That's right. What I told our kids when
you can get it
when they first started working. I don't know if this is lost, but there's no better feeling than coming home tired, worn out after a long day's work and know you did it. You went to work and you put in your best effort. I don't even know how to say that.
Here's an analogy, right? A real quick one. This will tell you how old I am. I got a job one time, and we were way behind when I got this job. We'd had a recent move, and we were broke, right? And I worked hard, man. My first paycheck at this job was like, what was it, $7,000? Something like that. That was enormous money. And they had this new thing called direct deposit, right? And I mean to tell you, we were down to eating crackers, beans in the house. I was a month behind rent. And direct deposit, my wife got that, right? She got the check like at noon or something like that. She went out and just filled the house with groceries, right? And I came home, and I mean, she was so proud. She's looking at all this food in the house. All the bills were paid for, and I literally had a tear in my eye. And she says, how does it make you feel that you could do that? And I was like, that's the best feeling in my life, right? Yeah, but it was hard. It was hard work, and we suffered.
Yeah. And you know what? Suffering makes you stronger, makes you more grateful for the things that
your own dignity requires this.
That's right.
That's what's wrong with the world right now. There are too many people walking around with no dignity. Yeah. Go ahead. You got the last.
No, just work hard.
Come back to God.
Come back to God. Stay focused on what's important, your family, your community and stuff like that. If you don't be in the world, but then don't be in.
No one's keeping you down. Stand up on your own 2 feet and quit looking for someone to blame. Anyhow.
If you look at yourself and look just like the world, then you're doing it wrong.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
God bless.
God bless. Have a beautiful Sunday. Bye.